CBSE Class 10 Math video solutions to sample question paper. The sample question paper is given by the board, CBSE board, for the year 2021, for the board examination of the year 2021. This is a basic version of the paper. In this video, we'll have solutions to question numbers 5 to 8. All of these are 1 mark questions. A total of 6 questions because question number 6 and question number 7 both have internal choices. These are rather easy, straightforward questions. Should take us 1 minute per question in the examination. Let's get started. The first question is from real numbers. If A and B are co-prime numbers, then the HCF of A and B is what? Find the HCF of A and B. What do we mean by co-prime numbers? Co-prime numbers are numbers which have only one common factor, and that common factor is 1, right? What are co-prime numbers? Numbers having only one common factor. What is that common factor? That common factor is equal to 1. If the only common factor between A and B is 1, then the highest common factor of A and B is equal to 1. So the HCF of A and B is equal to 1, right? This will fetch you 1 mark. Writing HCF of AB equals 1 is all that you need to do. This is basically for us to understand what do we mean by co-prime numbers. Quickly summarize it in half a second. Two numbers A and B are said to be co-prime. The only common factor between these two numbers is 1. If 1 is the only common factor, that has to be the highest common factor. So the HCF of these two numbers is equal to 1. Let's move on to the next question. Question 6 has got an internal choice. We are starting with the first one. We'll call it 6A. Find the area of a sector of a circle with radius 6 centimeters. If the angle of the sector is 60 degrees, take pi to be equal to 22 by 7. This is from the chapter Areas Related to Circles. Let's quickly understand using a diagram what we mean by it. We have a circle whose center is O. The radius of the circle is equal to 6 centimeters. Sector is basically this shape, right? This is a sector for which we are trying to find out the area. The angle subtended by the sector is equal to 60 degrees. We need to find out, I'll shade the region for which we are finding out the area. This is the region for which we are finding out the area. Area of a circle, formula is straightforward, which is pi r square. We are not finding out the area of the entire circle, we are finding out area for a part of the circle. That sector subtends an angle of 60 degrees. If a sector subtends an angle of theta degrees, then the area of the sector would be equal to theta divided by 360 degrees times the area of the circle, which is pi r square. This sector subtends an angle of 60. So theta is equal to 60. Theta is equal to 60. The radius of the circle is equal to 6 centimeters. So the variables are theta and r, two unknowns, both of which we have numbers. Plug it in, we have the answer. So theta by 360 will be 60 divided by 360. Take pi as a 22 by 7. So pi is 22 by 7. R square is 6 square, which is equal to 36. 36 cancels with 360 to leave us with a 10. 10 cancels with 60 to leave us with a 6. So 6 times 22 is equal to 132. This divided by 7 centimeter square is the area of the sector. 126 is 18 times 7. So this will be a quotient of 18. And then we have a 6. 6 upon 7 is a 0.8571, which is approximately 0.86. So 18.86 centimeter square is the area of the sector. Quickly run through the steps. We're not going to do everything again. We know that we are trying to find out the area of a sector which subtends an angle of 60 degrees whose radius is equal to 6 centimeters. Area of a sector is given by this formula, pi r square times theta by 360. Substitute theta as 60, r is equal to 6. You get an answer which is equal to 18.86 centimeter square. Let's move on to the second part, the other internal choice. We'll call it 6b. This is also from the chapter Areas Related to Circles. A horse is tied to a pole with 28 meters long rope. Here is a pole, you're tying a horse to it. So where can the horse graze? It's going to go around the pole and graze it. So the shape of the field that it can graze is actually a circle, with the center of the circle being the pole. Right? What we need to find out is the perimeter of the field where the horse can graze. Take again pi to be equal to 22 by 7. This diagram will help us understand what it is. P is the pole. The length of the rope is equal to 28 meters. So the area that it is going to graze is the area of the circle. The shape of the field is actually a circle. The question is not asking us to compute the area. The question is actually asking us to compute the perimeter. Perimeter of the circle is nothing but the circumference of the circle. So circumference of the circle, the formula to compute circumference of the circle is 2 pi r. R is the length of the rope, which is the radius in this case, which is 28 meters. So this is equal to 2 times 22 by 7 times 28. 28 cancels with 7 to leave us with a 4. 2 times 22 is 44. 44 times 4 is equal to 176. So 176 meters is the perimeter of this field that this horse can graze. Right? Quickly summarize it in a printed form. Radius is given as 28. It's tied to a pole. So the shape of the field that it can graze is actually a circle. The perimeter of the circle is nothing but the circumference of the circle. Circumference of the circle formula is 2 pi r. Substitute r is equal to 28, pi is equal to 22 by 7. We'll get an answer which is equal to 176 meters. Right? We've done question 6, both parts. Move on to question 7. Question 7 is from triangles. Both the internal choices 7a and 7b basically test concepts in triangles. Let's start with the first one. In the given figure, DE is parallel to BC. DE is parallel to BC. Brilliant. Angle ADE is equal to 70 degrees. This angle is equal to 70 degrees. And angle BAC is equal to 50 degrees. We'll mark it in the next slide. Then find out the measure of angle BCA. We need to find out what is the value of this angle. Let's get started. Let's note down what data is given to us. We know that angle ADE is equal to 70 degrees. Angle BAC, this angle is equal to 50 degrees. What we need to find out is this angle. What is given? It says that DE is parallel to BC. These two lines are parallel. AB is a transversal that cuts through it, which means corresponding angle should be equal. Angle ADE, if it is equal to 70, angle ABC will also be equal to 70 degrees. So because DE is parallel to BC, we'll know that angle ADE, which is given to be equal to 70 degrees, will be the same measure for angle ABC. Now look at triangle ABC. In triangle ABC, sum of the three interior angles should be equal to 180 degrees. One angle is angle A, which is angle BAC. The second angle is angle B, which is angle ABC. The third angle is what we are trying to find out, which is angle BCA. The sum of these three angles is equal to 180 degrees. Measure of angle A is equal to 50, measure of angle B is equal to 70, plus measure of angle BCA, which is what we'll have to find out. This adds up to 180 degrees. 50 plus 70 is 120. Take it to the right hand side. 180 minus 120 is 60. So angle BCA is equal to 60 degrees. Right? Write this step, you get half a mark. Write this step and get the answer, you get the other half mark. So 1 mark for it. Right? Two concepts tested. If these two lines are parallel, corresponding angles will be equal. So you can find out angle ABC. Then sum of the three interior angles is equal to 180. You know two of those angles. Find the third angle. Quickly summarize it in a printed form. Because D is parallel to BC, corresponding angles will be equal. Angle ADE and angle ABC will be the same. So this is also 70 degrees. Then in triangle ABC, sum of the interior angles is 180. We know measures of two angles, A and B. Find out the measure of angle C, which is angle BCA, which is equal to 60 degrees. Right? We have done this question. Move on to the next one, 7b. This is also a triangles question. It deals with a property, a theorem that we have learnt. Let's read the question. Do the theorems first, just to understand what it is, and then see how to solve it. In the figure given below, AD equals 2 centimeters. We'll mark it. BD is equal to 3 centimeters. Brilliant. AE is equal to 3.5. And AC equals 7. This entire length is equal to 7 centimeters. What is asked is DE parallel to BC? The last question told us DE is parallel to BC. In this variant, they are asking us to figure out whether DE is parallel to BC. Let's quickly run through it. There are two theorems. Actually, we'll be applying one theorem, but we are going to learn that second theorem from the first theorem. The first theorem is basic proportionality theorem. It says this: if a line is drawn parallel to one side of a triangle, line DE is drawn parallel to one side of a triangle. The side to which it is parallel is BC. To intersect the other two sides in distinct points. So DE meets the other two sides. It's parallel to BC. The other two sides are AB and AC. It meets them at distinct points D and E. The other two sides are divided in the same ratio. What it means is, by basic proportionality theorem, if DE is parallel to BC, then it would pan out that AD by DB, the ratio in which D divides AB, will be the same ratio in which E will divide AC. So AE divided by EC will be equal to AD by DB, provided these two lines are parallel. This is basic proportionality theorem. We are actually going to be using the converse of this theorem. The converse of the theorem reads as follows. If a line divides two sides of a triangle in the same ratio, if DE divides two sides AB and AC in the same ratio, which is to say that if AD divided by DB is equal to AE divided by EC. If this were true, then the line is parallel to the third side. Line DE divides AB and AC in the same ratio, then DE will be parallel to the third side. The third side happens to be BC. Then these two lines will be parallel. If this is known, then we can infer that DE is parallel to BC. We have measures of almost all of these parts. So let's check out whether AD by DB is equal to AE by EC. If that is the case, then we know that these two lines are parallel. Otherwise, these two are not parallel. Let's quickly get around to doing that. AD is known, which is equal to 2. DB is known, which is equal to 3. AE is known, which is 3.5. But EC is not known. What is given is the entire AC. AC equals 7. AE equals 3.5. So step 1, to apply converse of basic proportionality theorem, let's compute EC. EC is equal to AC minus AE. AC is equal to 7. AE is equal to 3.5, therefore EC will be equal to a 3.5. So AE equals 3.5, EC equals 3.5. Step 1 done. Step 2, let's write out the converse of basic proportionality theorem. We'll have to verify whether step 2 for us is we'll have to evaluate whether AD by DB is AD by DB equal to AE by EC. What is AD by DB? That is equal to a 2 divided by 3. Is it equal to AE by EC, which is a 3.5 divided by 3.5? 3.5 by 3.5 is equal to 1. Is 2 by 3 equal to 1? No, 2 by 3 is not equal to 1. So if AD by DB is equal to AE by EC, these two lines are parallel. It is not equal to AE by EC, therefore we know that DE is not parallel to BC. So that's the answer. So essentially 2 steps to this question, knowing the converse of basic proportionality theorem. But before applying converse of basic proportionality theorem, we computed the measure of EC. That's step number 1. Then we plugged it into the converse of basic proportionality theorem. We stated that if AD by DB equals AE by EC, then these two lines will be parallel. So we found out whether it was equal. It was not equal. Therefore, we said that these two lines are not parallel. Quickly summarize the steps in a printed form. Compute EC, that's step number 1, which gave us an answer of 3.5. Step number 2, the converse is of the basic proportionality theorem is if AD by BD equals AE by EC, then DE will be parallel to BC. So we're checking whether it is equal. We realized it's not equal. Therefore, DE is not parallel to BC. Right. Using converse of BPT, conclude whether DE is parallel to BC. It is not parallel to BC. The last question in this video is basically the cost of fencing a circular field at the rate of 24 rupees per meter is 5,280. The total cost of fencing is 5,280. Cost per meter is 24 per meter. What we need to find out is the radius of the field. It's a circular field. So again, we'll split it into 2 steps. First step, I'm going to find out the length of the fence. How do you compute the length of fence? We know the total cost of the fence. Total cost is equal to 5280. We know cost per meter is equal to 24. Total cost divided by cost per meter should give us the length. So length of the fence is equal to total cost divided by cost per meter. I'll write it as CPM. Total cost is equal to 5280. Cost per meter is equal to 24. 24 into 22 is 528. So this is equal to 220. So the length of the fence that is used is equal to 220 meters. It's a circular field. We are fencing the perimeter. So the perimeter of a circle is nothing but the circumference of the circle. So circumference of the circle is equal to 220 meters. We are going to substitute it in the formula to compute the circumference to find the answer of the radius. Circumference is equal to 220 meters. Circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. Take pi to be equal to 22 by 7 and radius is what we are trying to compute. Cross multiply both 7 and the 2 into 24 to find the value of r. So r is equal to 220 times 7, this goes to the numerator, divided by 2 times 22 is a 44. 44 cancels with 220 to leave us with 5 as the answer. 5 times 7 is equal to 35. Unit is meters. So the radius of the field is equal to 35 meters. All of these questions were easy. The first question was from real numbers. Second one was basically a question which was testing concepts of areas related to circles. Third one was triangles. The last one is again areas related to circles and a little bit of finding out the length using the cost mechanics, right? Pretty straightforward, simple questions.
Before you leave, I want you to do 2 things. One, sign up at online.maxtute.com to get started with CBSE Class 10 Math online tuitions. It takes all of 5 minutes and less than 3 steps to get started. So get it done today. And second thing, I want you to subscribe to this channel if you already haven't and turn on notifications so that you get notified every time a new video is uploaded. And also, spread the word about this channel to your friends and classmates.